Imagine a world shrouded in medical ignorance, where the secrets of the human body remained hidden, bound by centuries of dogma and fear. A world where understanding life often meant confronting death in its most taboo forms. This is the story of an ambition so profound, a quest for knowledge so relentless, that it pushed the boundaries of legality and morality. It led to clandestine midnight expeditions, the desecration of graves, and the creation of an anatomical masterpiece that would forever change medicine, born from the very shadows of the graveyard. This is the saga of Andreas Vesalius and the anatomical textbook that literally required grave robbing to illustrate. For over 1,000 years, the understanding of human anatomy was dictated not by direct observation, but by the ancient texts of Galen, a physician from the 2nd century AD. His teachings, based primarily on the dissection of animals, pigs and Barbary apes, were treated as sacrosanct, rarely challenged, even when they contradicted reality. Medical students learned from books, not bodies. To question Galen was to question authority, a dangerous path in an era where tradition held an iron grip over intellectual pursuit. The true inner workings of humanity remained a mystery, obscured by dogma and the fear of the unknown. But as the Renaissance dawned, a profound shift began. The humanistic spirit ignited a fervent curiosity, a desire to observe, to question, and to understand the world directly. This intellectual awakening slowly began to chip away at the monolithic authority of the past. Artists like Leonardo da Vinci secretly pursued anatomical studies, sketching the hidden wonders beneath the skin. Yet, formal medical education still lagged, held captive by old doctrines. The stage was set for someone bold enough, brilliant enough, to shatter the chains of tradition and reveal the human form in all its intricate, undeniable truth. Born in Brussels in 1514, Andreas Vesalius was destined to be that revolutionary. From a family of physicians, he possessed an insatiable hunger for knowledge and an unwavering belief in direct observation. Studying medicine in Paris and then Padua, Vesalius quickly grew frustrated with the prevailing methods. He refused to merely read Galen. He demanded to see, to touch, to dissect. He saw the flaws in the ancient texts and the profound necessity of correcting them, even if it meant defying centuries of accepted wisdom and risking his own reputation, perhaps even his life, to uncover the truth. In 1537, Vesalius became a professor at the renowned University of Padua. Here, he transformed the anatomy lesson from a dry reading of texts into a dynamic, hands-on demonstration. Instead of merely instructing assistants to dissect, Vesalius himself wielded the scalpel, guiding students through the wonders and complexities of the human form. These dissections were public spectacles, held in grand, purpose-built anatomy theaters, drawing not only students, but also curious citizens and even artists. But the demand for fresh cadavers, especially human ones, far outstripped the legal supply, creating a desperate, escalating problem. The legal source of bodies for dissection was primarily executed criminals. However, the supply was erratic and woefully insufficient for Vesalius's ambitious plans. To truly map the human body with unprecedented detail, he needed a continuous flow of fresh cadavers. The precise muscular structures, the delicate network of nerves and vessels. These required specimens that were not yet corrupted by decay. This desperate need, coupled with the era's severe limitations on acquiring bodies through legitimate means, drove Vesalius and his colleagues to a morally ambiguous but scientifically imperative solution. As the demand for anatomical specimens grew, a dark profession emerged: the resurrection men, or body snatchers. These were individuals, often desperate and morally flexible, who made a living by secretly exhuming recently buried bodies and selling them to medical schools and anatomists. It was a perilous trade, carrying the severe risk of imprisonment, public flogging, or even death if caught. Yet, the monetary incentive, coupled with the profound scientific need, ensured a steady, if illicit, supply. Without these shadowy figures, Vesalius's groundbreaking work might never have seen the light of day. The act of grave robbing itself was a nocturnal ballet of silence and urgency. Fresh graves were preferred, less disturbed ground meaning quicker access and fewer signs of tampering. The resurrection men knew their macabre trade well, often using specialized tools to quickly open coffins without attracting undue attention. The constant threat of discovery, a watchful guard, a patrolling dog, or an awakened villager, hung heavy in the cold night air. Every creak of the shovel, every rustle of fallen leaves was amplified by the palpable tension. It was a race against time, for both the snatchers and the preservation of the precious cargo. Once exhumed, the body would be hastily wrapped and transported under the cover of darkness. Wagons or cloaked figures would carry their grim bundles through winding, unlit streets, often dodging patrols and watchful eyes, towards the secret entry points of anatomy schools. The journey was fraught with danger, a silent pact between the desperate provider and the demanding anatomist. This illicit traffic formed the grim, hidden infrastructure upon which the future of medical understanding would be built. Each stolen body represented a leap away from ancient error and closer to empirical truth. But dissection alone was not enough. To create a lasting legacy, Vesalius needed his discoveries immortalized. This required extraordinary artistic talent. For the Fabrica, he employed a team of skilled artists, believed to be led by Jan van Kalkar, a student of Titian. These artists were not merely illustrators. They were anatomists with brushes, meticulously rendering every muscle, bone, and organ with breathtaking accuracy. They worked directly from the dissected cadavers, transforming the grim reality of death into unparalleled works of scientific art, capturing the ephemeral beauty of the human machine before decay set in. In 1543, at the astonishing age of 28, Vesalius published his magnum opus, De Humani Corporis Fabrica Libri Septem, on the fabric of the human body in 7 books. It was a monumental achievement, a lavishly illustrated 700-page tome that systematically documented the human form based on actual dissection. No anatomical work before it, or arguably for centuries after, matched its detail, accuracy, or sheer artistic grandeur. The book was a direct challenge to Galen, a bold declaration that observation, not ancient authority, was the true path to knowledge. It shattered 1,000 years of medical stagnation. The Fabrica was revolutionary because it presented over 200 corrections to Galen's long-held beliefs. Vesalius debunked myths like the perforated septum of the heart and the 5-lobed liver, which were based on animal anatomy. His vivid woodcut illustrations, often featuring muscle men in dynamic, almost artistic poses against landscape backgrounds, brought anatomy to life in a way textbooks never had before. These were not just diagrams. They were visual journeys into the complex machinery of the body, allowing doctors and students to truly grasp its intricate workings for the first time. Among the most iconic images from the Fabrica are the muscle men and articulated skeletons, depicted in various poses as if alive, contemplating their own anatomy or posing dramatically against classical landscapes. These artistic choices weren't just aesthetic. They were functional, making the complex musculature and skeletal structure easier to understand and remember. They transformed grim specimens into works of art, inviting viewers to engage with the human form rather than recoil from it. These figures became instant icons, influencing anatomical illustration for centuries to come. The Fabrica reshaped anatomical study and medical practice, laying the foundation for modern surgery and diagnostic medicine. Vesalius's methods of direct observation and meticulous recording became the gold standard. However, his story, and the story of his magnum opus, forces us to confront an enduring ethical dilemma. Can the pursuit of invaluable knowledge justify morally ambiguous actions? The price of enlightenment was often exacted in the darkest corners of society, forcing us to weigh the profound benefits of scientific progress against the ethical cost of its acquisition. Vesalius's work remains a testament to both human genius and the complex compromises made on the path to understanding. The story of Andreas Vesalius and his groundbreaking De Humani Corporis Fabrica is more than just a chapter in medical history. It's a testament to the relentless human spirit in the face of daunting challenges. It's a reminder that true progress often emerges from the shadows, demanding sacrifices, pushing boundaries, and forcing us to confront uncomfortable truths. The legacy of those midnight digs and stolen bodies lives on in every anatomy textbook, every surgical procedure, reminding us of the profound journey from ancient dogma to empirical knowledge. It is a story of darkness, discovery, and the undeniable light of truth.